No Big Deal is a delicate balance of relationship building and tense negotiations, which teeter on the verge of collapse constantly. Then on Friday, like Call of Duty. I mean, it is what it is, man. Come on. No Big Deal matches take place throughout the work week, where you start off as a little itty bitty birdie on Monday and end up strapped with M16s by Friday, with the main goal being to gain as much money as possible in order to escape the Matrix. Now, the way to get that money is actually pretty simple. The problem is it requires you to read the whiteboard, and since most Roblox players are illiterate, they just go commit homicide and armed robbery. Generally, the objective you'll deal with the most is transaction, where one guy has the MacGuffin known as the project and the other two teams have money, or one of them spawn in with nothing and have to commit even more homicide. The projects will start with a small bonus, but that'll slowly creep up as the week goes on. You can mainly get money through keeping projects or stacks of cash into your base until the end of the round. Oh yeah, and the money that you earn will be evenly distributed between your colleagues and you, because this 1950s world is a perfect Marxist society for some reason. You'll also get a baseline amount of money, which starts at about 120 and then goes up to 600 by the end of the week. Now, you can use the riches you've earned to buy things from the shop like weapons, items, and ammo, but personally I just buy 18 coffees and descend to the astral plane. You may notice that when you spawn into the game, you can't actually leave the confines of your spawn room yet. This is because there's a negotiation phase where they force you to socialize with the phone item, and also give you time to purchase your 6 hardballs that you need. Once your lovely and peaceful negotiations are over, the day starts and you're given 10 minutes to have your shenanigans and fight it out with the rest of the teams, or maybe even make some deals actually. Alright, let's go over the teams real quick then. First of those teams being Alamont, a tech and defense contractor and arms manufacturer. They're close to a decent chunk of important places around the map, also only being down the road from Bergman. But most of their time, because of their proximity to each other, each time Alamont goes back to their base, they have to weed out any Bergman infestations when they go home. Alamont is oftentimes mistaken for Bergman from afar, but they can be set apart by their distinct grey suits and cowboy hats. Secondly, we have Halfwell, an American banking company that's pretty far away from the other two teams, which usually ends up with them flipping their car over 47 seconds into the round, and subsequently being shot to death by any other team passing by. Halfwell are the easiest to recognize because they wear bright blue suits and fedoras, so it's basically impossible for these guys to hide at all. Last but not least, okay, maybe actually least this time, but Bergman, the West German multimedia conglomerate. Since you already know Bergman is basically up the street from Alamont, you shouldn't be surprised to hear that Bergman crashes into Alamont constantly. This almost always causes shootouts every other day. Also, this is pretty well known in the community, but if you make a deal with Bergman, check the money, and be wary of the briefcase. It will have a grenade in it if they can afford it. You'll be able to tell a Bergman apart from the other teams pretty easy because of their dark brown suits and their nice little caps that they have on their head. Okay, I'm going to run through the rest of the objectives real quick, just to get them out the way. Double Disc is like Transaction, but reversed. So instead of one team having the project, two teams have projects, and one team spawns with the equivalent to Jeff Bezos' net worth, and have to acquire both of those projects. Acquisition is the most complex game mode. It's like Double Disc in that one team spawns with money and two teams need to sell the project. Twist is the project spawns in a key location on the map, and two teams have to fight for it. There is also a keep objective for this thing, where one of the teams that could have the project also could just need to keep it instead. That drop is the simplest of all the objectives. No team spawn in with any money, and the project is dropped at a random point of interest, so you gotta get it by any means necessary back to your base. Or you could just hit them with your car at 60 miles an hour. I mean, come on now, isn't this the simplest option? Also, every single Friday is guaranteed to be a dead drop, so I thought I should let you know that. Before we get to items, I'll run through how health works in this game, because it's not actually that conventional. Each of your body parts has HP, meaning you'll actually have to be careful in gunfights, because getting shot in the arm will make that hand unusable, and losing all health in your head or torso will kill you. Being shot in your leg reduces your mobility, and also if it breaks, that leg becomes unusable. If both of your legs break, then you cannot move. It is a good thing that you can't be shot in the leg though. You can only be run over or take full damage to take damage in your leg, but that can still happen, so be wary. Also, when you have a broken arm, you can still shoot your guns and open briefcases, you just can't aim or hold out those briefcases. Alright, we got something much more fun to talk about now. Let's discuss items. As of recording, there are 4 items. Counterfeit stacks, coffee, seltzer bottles, and the grenade. Starting with counterfeit stacks, it's a money stack with a cropped and zoomed in PNG on it, so most people can identify them up close after a few attempts. Next off, we have seltzer bottles, which cost 500, and when you give them to another team, both you and the other team get $1,000 as a symbol of your everlasting friendship. You can also tell which team bought it because the color of the team will be the same color as the little wrapping around it. Last but not least, the grenade, an absolute favorite of the Bergman team. When you click on a grenade, it'll prime the grenade, by removing the pin of course. You can click again to put the pin back on though, so don't worry in case you accidentally click. After being dropped or thrown, once the 2-second fuse is up while primed, the grenade explodes instantly, killing or maiming someone in the radius if they're barely just out of it. For those who don't know, grenades can also be placed into briefcases, which makes it so the next time you open that briefcase, a 4-second fuse ticks down, and then the briefcase explodes. Also, if you die when a grenade is primed, they're supposed to explode as well, but it's bugged as of writing. Okay, we're gonna get into guns next, but here is a quick warning. Your guns will try and fire towards your crosshair generally, but will not exactly follow it, meaning you'll have to feel out the aim of most guns and look at where your barrel is to generally tell where it's gonna go. The tiny T-snub. Okay, no matter what anyone tells you, this thing does not shoot small pellets. When you spam click, it creates a cone of death that evaporates anything in its path. Don't even bother long range though, because you're not even gonna hit anything mid-range even. The hardball. Probably the most basic thing you'll see. It's just kind of average at everything. So it's still better than the Kick 10, but it's just kind of okay. The PK Pinto. One of the most beloved and best options when it comes to guns. It'll get a bit inaccurate if you spray somebody with it, but it's incredibly solid for a load of mid-range, although it'll take 4 headshots to kill someone. The Doppio 12 gauge. A good old generic shotgun. It has some decently strict damage fall off, but at close range, it absolutely dominates. Able to break limbs and kill instantly with a single shot. You can also hold up to 2 rounds, and it's always a decently big threat, also being the only gun to be able to ragdoll people. The Kick 10. Just no. The Euro 79. The Ace's unloved little brother. It's a clunky rifle with pretty bad aim, though it has a low chance to kill people instantly with headshots, but it generally takes 2 headshots to drop people. Its mags hold 30 rounds, and it's just an overall okay rifle. The Carcosa rifle. The Magnum's socially awkward little cousin. It's only able to chamber a single bullet, but if you land a headshot, it's an instant kill, so it's your conventional sniper rifle. Though God help you if you break an arm, because that gun control is going to suck. The Ace. It's an expensive but very, very solid option. Being extremely good at most ranges, it's lacking quality, being that it doesn't really excel at one specific thing. But it's extremely good if you don't know when, where, or how you'll be fighting your opponent. The Nock Magnum. It's the most expensive gun in No Big Deal currently, but just like the Carcosa, it'll instantly kill on headshot, although it has exactly the same handling as Carcosa, making it very, very difficult to aim. But if you land that headshot, like I said, it'll instant kill. So, it's an extremely strong option if you've got the money. Oh yeah, and it also does chamber 6 rounds, so you can hold quite a lot of bullets in there. And with that, I've covered basically everything major about the game. So, I hope you guys are ready to hop into a round of No Big Deal after that guide, and, have a nice day.